Is she?
Drunk? Yes.
What's good, guys? It's Alissa. If you're new here, hello. Braceface is a Canadian cartoon that has tackled a lot of controversial subjects. If you haven't seen this show in a long time, or at all, you will probably assume that it's a surface level show that follows the life of the main character Sharon as a high school student, similar to a show like 16. In many episodes, they actually make it a point to have a broader conversation about the struggles teenagers face. And in this video, I want to talk about the times that our main character Sharon fell for peer pressure and decided to smoke and drink for reasons I believe to be tied to her constant need for male validation. But first things first, I know I gotta get the formalities out of the way. You can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. All that information is in my description box down below. I also have a second channel where I post more lifestyle content on here and there. And I also have a Sims channel that I post on not as frequently as I would like, but I'm getting back to it. And of course, I would also like to thank my patrons over on Patreon. Your monthly contribution does not go unnoticed. You get early access to this video and also get to watch it ad-free. But without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start with the season 4 episode, Up in Smoke. The episode starts with Sharon's dad, Richard, informing her that she has to get home to meet his new girlfriend, Lauren's son.
My dad wants me to go to his girlfriend's condo for brunch tomorrow. I have to meet her 15-year-old son who's moving in with her and try to be friends. Wasn't this the guy who was in boarding school out east? Didn't he live with his dad? All I wanted was for life to be exciting. Was that such a big thing to ask for?
But Sharon isn't very enthusiastic about this because she feels that her parents always want her to get along with their new partner's kids to make them feel better about their divorce. Sharon feels like her life is boring and wants more excitement. So when she finds out that Lauren's son Griffin is a bit of a bad boy who got kicked out of boarding school, she wants to know more about him. Griffin seems to be a bit of a defiant kid, calling his mom by her first name and refusing to do anything that adults say.
So you just stopped going to classes?
Yeah.
And then they kicked you out?
Uh-huh. And my dad couldn't hack it, of course, because he's so worried about what people will think. And he's on the board of this and the executive of that, so he sends me here.
Griffin, come meet some of my friends from work.
I don't really feel like it, Lauren. Thanks.
I find it interesting that Sharon's dad, Richard, and his girlfriend, Lauren, are throwing Sharon onto Griffin to make him feel more comfortable, when it already seems that Griffin is a bit of a bad influence. Although Richard doesn't know Griffin that well, his mom has to be in some kind of denial about her son's behavior. And from what we know, similar to Richard and Sharon's dynamic, Lauren is the parent that Griffin is hardly around, with him being thrown onto her after being kicked out of boarding school. And with the little information that we know, they probably don't need to have him around Sharon, but we'll get into that later. To add to this bad boy persona, Griffin apparently wants to be a rapper and a DJ, showing Sharon his whack music to ditch his mom's gathering.
Ever since the day I saw my first microphone, I knew I'd found a way to make it here, out on my own. No one telling me what to be, who I'm supposed to be, what? All you wanna see is me act responsibly?
Very cool.
Sharon starts to relate to Griffin in his angsty speeches, with both of them feeling like no one listens when something important has to be said.
I think there's a lot to say about life, and no one's saying it loud enough.
That's exactly how I feel about animal rights and a whole bunch of other things. Some people are listening, but not enough.
But I think the difference between Griffin and Sharon is that he's self-righteous. And more importantly, he doesn't actually have anything to say. He's just acting out and hoping that his parents will pay attention. Which is similar to Sharon, who's also acting out as a result of her parents' divorce, except Sharon knows that there will be real consequences for the things that she does and has a level of respect for her parents that she wouldn't want to disappoint them, which Griffin does not. Sharon starts to compare her life to Griffin's, feeling like his life is more interesting than hers because he lives on the edge.
Why don't we ever spend our Sundays going to galleries?
'Cause we don't care about art?
What's so wrong with playing gin?
I'm telling you guys, Griffin is totally original. He sees the world differently than we do.
So when are we going to meet him?
She tells her friends that they should go gallery hopping sometimes because Griffin does, offending her friends because they enjoy the time that they spend together doing their normal things, making Sharon feel embarrassed to even introduce Griffin to her friends now because they seem uncool compared to him.
Let's do something.
Well, my friends and I were sort of going to the mall, hang out at the food court, I don't know. It's totally boring. You'd hate it.
So, forget the mall. Do any of your friends have a pool?
So they go to her best friend Maria's place to swim, but Maria is scared because the pool is closed and they shouldn't even be in there. But Griffin convinces Sharon, who convinces Maria to let them swim anyway, until the maintenance guy comes and they have to quickly get out of the pool. And it's at this time that her friends are starting to suspect that she has some sort of crush on Griffin, which I touched on a previous Braceface video covering my feelings on their almost step-sibling underlying romance. But after the pool incident, Maria is starting to get suspicious of Griffin, thinking that he's too wild, but Sharon just feels like Maria is being uptight.
We're just lucky my parents aren't home yet. Will you stop being so uptight? At least Griffin's getting us to do something different for a change. You're not getting a crush on him, are you? Of course not. He could end up being my stepbrother. Right. Just checking.
Sharon has to get home by curfew, but Griffin decides to take a pit stop at his mom's place for a smoke break.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Do you know how bad that is for you?
So what? We're all gonna die sooner or later.
And Sharon scolds him for that excuse because that's the dumbest thing she's ever heard. And apparently Sharon using the word stupid was a trigger for him because Griffin immediately starts getting self-deprecating, calling himself stupid too.
So I'm stupid. We all know that.
That's not what I meant.
Want one?
No thanks.
Boy, you and your friends really know how to whoop it up, don't ya? Do any of you ever play outside the box without getting all nutty and paranoid?
Sure we do. I'm just trying to quit right now.
Can you do these?
But before she takes a puff, her braces interfere with something electrical, making the camera in that alley point directly at them while she's smoking. And obviously she's never smoked, so she immediately starts choking, blowing her cover when they get caught by security for smoking on private property. Security reveals to them that they've been caught on camera, showing their parents this footage. Unfortunately, Sharon is the only one that got caught on camera smoking, making her parents believe that she's been smoking for a while.
Sharon, how long has the smoking thing been going on?
I swear it was my first and last time.
I hope so.
Our lives are over.
Maybe for you, but Lauren's never dished out a punishment in her life.
Sharon's parents ground her for a month, with Griffin chiming in to say that punishment isn't gonna work if she just wants to smoke again anyway. And I think with the pressure of Sharon's parents not playing around, this made Lauren decide that Griffin needs the same type of lesson, but this just offends him, calling her out for being performative.
You think any of that's going to make a difference if she wants to smoke again?
Maybe not, but she'll realize how serious we are about not wanting her to.
I think you need to get the same message, Griffin.
What? So now you're suddenly pretending to be strict mama?
No, I'm learning.
Fine, but if you and your new boyfriend think you can control me, you're wrong!
When Sharon tells her friends about this dilemma, they're not sympathetic to her situation at all, honestly just thinking it was a bit silly for her to smoke in the first place. They warn her of all the dangers of smoking cigarettes, that I'm sure she knows, with their friend Alissa dropping a bomb that she's already tried smoking before.
You tried smoking?
Yeah. In 8th grade, Nina and I got into it.
I can't believe you never told me this.
What happened?
Our parents caught us and went crazy. At first we weren't worried because we thought we could quit whenever we wanted to, but it was totally hard. I went completely broke buying cigarettes.
So now you've quit for good?
Uh-huh. I don't know why anyone would even start. I felt out of shape all the time. My breath was horrible and all my clothes and hair stank. It was totally gross.
Now this was a bit out of character for me because Allison is the sweet girl goody two-shoes type. I feel like they pulled this plot line out of nowhere just to have one of her friends give a PSA on the dangers of smoking from someone who was addicted to smoking firsthand. She does say that she only got into smoking because of her ex-best friend Nina, who was the mean girl of the show. So I'll just assume that she was influenced during the time that she was her lackey. When Sharon gets home, she decides to listen in on her parents' phone call, overhearing them arguing about this whole Griffin smoking situation.
All I'm saying is he's a good kid that just needs a strong role model right now.
You do your thing with him and keep Sharon out of it.
Helen, we don't know for sure that he pressured Sharon into smoking.
We can pretty well bet on it.
Since when do you jump to conclusions before you get the facts?
I'm a psychologist, Richard. I can spot his type a mile away. Your girlfriend's son is messed up, and the last thing I want is for Sharon to get messed up too.
Stop it, both of you! Don't you think I have a brain? That I can think for myself?
Although Sharon gets upset, yelling at them that she has a mind of her own, she absolutely does get easily influenced to do things that she shouldn't in the duration of this show. So that just makes me believe that Richard doesn't know his daughter as much as he thinks he does, especially because he's never around due to him being a traveling musician, which is a similar dilemma that Lauren is in with Griffin. She's in denial about how bad her son's behavior is and doesn't understand how much trouble he gets into and puts others into. It's like the blind leading the blind in this relationship. So I do believe that Helen knows what's best in this scenario. To expand on my point, I want to talk a little bit about the season 1 episode Miami Vices, where Sharon gets into a similar situation, falling into peer pressure with her dad being one of her root causes. In this episode, Sharon feels like she's living in boot camp with all of her mom's rules.
You so have to get down here. The slopes are awesome. I can't go anywhere. Today's National Big Clean Day in the Spitz house.
She's stuck doing a deep house clean when her dad calls her to let her know that he's in Miami and would like for her and her siblings Adam and Josh to come down and see him.
Feel like coming out for a few days? My treat?
No way!
I have to work, but at least we can spend some time together. I just have to clear it with your mom.
You know how I feel about you kids having a routine and sticking to it.
There it was. The big letdown.
On the other hand, you're all pretty responsible. So, as long as you keep up with your homework and stay out of trouble, you can go.
Aw, Mom, that's so not fair.
You don't want to go to Miami?
Huh?
She said yes, doofus.
Because Sharon's brother Josh got the flu, she decides to take Maria with her to Miami, venting to her on the plane about how she's sick of her mom's rules and is excited to go with her dad because he's cool and lets her do whatever she wants.
I'm so sick of rules, curfews, and chore wheels. I just can't take it anymore. Lately, I've been wondering what it would be like to live with my dad.
Sharon has convinced herself that she and her dad have so much in common, only to feel quickly left out when her dad's band asks for her brother Josh and is feeling bummed that they're not able to jam out with him. Sharon starts to feel a bit jealous that he has a special relationship with these important people in her dad's life that she had no idea about. Then, when her big brother Adam impresses everyone with his strength, she becomes even more jealous, feeling like she'll never be able to fit in with her dad or the boys in general.
They missed my 9-year-old brother? They even gave him a nickname.
I dub you Almighty Adam. If you ever want a job, you'd fit in real nice around here.
Great. My brothers were Almighty Adam and the Mini Music Meister. But I was just Sharon.
Even though her dad invited them out because he misses them and said that they would spend a bit of time together, he's been pretty busy with the band. So in order to get some time with him, Sharon offers to be their roadie, but quickly feels out of place when she realizes that position has already been filled.
That was great, you guys!
Your harmony was flat, man.
I know. Hitting that 8 gets me every time.
Anyone want coffee?
Made my own, thanks.
Yeah, vanilla hazelnut.
With maple syrup and
a hint of cinnamon.
There was no way I could fit in with these guys. They had their own routines and inside jokes, just like a family. The one my dad spent most of his time with.
The difference between Sharon and everyone else, however, is that Sharon is trying too hard to fit in. She's not being herself and starts to feel rejected when her efforts are not getting the results that she hoped for, which is textbook people pleasing. Because in the same trip, Maria is having the best time with Adam and her family because she doesn't have any expectations on how she wants to be perceived or accepted by them. Sharon bumps into her dad's roadie Tyler at the convenience store, and he invites her to a party in the back alley of her dad's show, and she agrees to go, excited that the guys finally want her to hang out with them.
During the show tonight, we do our own rockin' in the back alley. You should swing by.
Sure! Finally! The guys wanted me to hang out with them. Maybe I didn't have to write songs or lift furniture to fit in. Don't you want to see your dad play? It's okay, we saw him the first night, and I also went to rehearsal. We don't have to move speakers or do any work, do we? Hello? Would I go to that kind of party?
Who are these people anyway?
Oh, you know, roadies, friends of the band.
Is Adam coming?
How would I know? I'm not his babysitter.
She also invites Maria to come, but when they arrive, Maria doesn't feel comfortable because they don't know any people there. And as soon as they get there, Tyler offers them liquor.
Rum and cola, ladies?
No, thanks.
I don't think so.
You sure? It's really good stuff.
Well, okay, why not? Are you serious? Hey, let's party! You're right. It is really good.
Sharon drinks all night, becoming the life of the party, with Maria feeling embarrassed by her behavior and afraid that they're gonna get in trouble by her dad. But Sharon feels like she can do whatever she wants because her dad is so chill. Maria is ready to go when Adam pops up, discovering a drunk Sharon.
And now for my next number. Are there any requests from the audience?
Sharon, stop it.
Sharon, stop it. You know, I don't know that one.
Is she?
Drunk? Yes.
And you let it happen?
I couldn't stop her.
Great! Guess who's gonna have to pay for this?
How many guesses do I get?
This was the spooky part for me. Because, one, he invited her out, offered her liquor, but then gets a bad temper when things go left. Those are absolutely not the type of people that you want to hang around when you're under the influence or in general. So I was glad that she had Maria there and that Adam showed up when he did, because he was not going for how he was speaking to his sister.
Go home if you don't know how to party. And try not to trash anything else on your way out, lushhead.
Hey, back off, pal. My sister doesn't know how to party because she's only 13 years old.
Adam tries to get Sharon to safety before their dad finds out, but just like in the Up in Smoke episode, her braces interfere with the electronics, blasting their conversation on the loudspeakers during her dad's concert, revealing Sharon's circumstances. When Sharon gets back to the hotel, she's in horrible condition and her dad is not having it, to her surprise.
Partying with the roadies? Are you out of your mind? When you drink, you don't think straight, and that makes you vulnerable. Do I need to tell you what can happen to vulnerable 13-year-olds? They can get taken advantage of. They can get hurt. What were you thinking?
I don't know. I just thought if I was, you know, one of the guys, I could maybe kind of fit better into your world and stuff.
Let's get a couple of things straight. One, you will never, ever be one of the guys, okay? And two, you're my daughter. You're already a part, the major part of my world, the one that means the most to me. Which is why I fired Tyler. His behavior was inexcusable.
So the fantasy that Sharon had, living a rule-free, carefree life with her dad, is now over, realizing that there are limitations to just how free she can be. When she makes it back home with her mom, she's disappointed in Sharon because she allowed her to go to Miami because she thought that she would be responsible. Circling back to my point on Helen knowing her child better, she knows that she has good, well-mannered children, and yes, sometimes they don't make the best decisions, but she trusts that they'll learn their lessons when they mess up. There was rarely a time that her dad actually checked in with the kids during this trip to ensure that they were on their best behavior, which is a bad combination when Sharon already feels like he's a pushover. Which can also potentially lead to a child like Griffin. Sharon understands why she's in trouble for getting drunk, but in the end usually feels like her parents are unnecessarily picking on her.
What's the use of having divorced parents if they gang up on me?
So back to the season 1 episode Up in Smoke, it seems Sharon's mom is right about Griffin being a bad influence because he comes to her house in the middle of the night, sneaking Sharon onto the roof to talk.
It was such a joke watching Lauren try to do the strict routine. In the end, she just couldn't hack it.
So, what does that mean? You're not grounded anymore?
Uh-huh. The only problem now is your old man.
He feels like the only thing getting in the way of his freedom is Sharon's dad, which is a stark contrast from his lax attitude in Miami Vices. Griffin finds Sharon's dad to be uncool, saying that he's trying too hard and that he's a has-been. He shows Sharon a CD of her dad's hit song that he recorded over mocking him, and Sharon doesn't like this at all.
I'm never gonna love you, man. Even if you think you can love my mama.
song for me when I was a little girl.
So what? I thought you'd think it was funny.
Griffin is definitely one of those people who are not funny, but truly believes that they are. Like, genuinely not seeing that they're not only obnoxious, but just mean and cruel. Any self-proclaimed funny guy is not funny at all.
We're studying Latin America and history, so I say, hey, instead of drawing a stupid map of the place, let's learn something cool like the rumba. Really get to feel the culture. Of course, major negative response to that one.
Of course.
But Sharon is fed up with him constantly talking about her dad, so she eats him up saying that her dad actually has better things to do than to try and help him out anyway. But Griffin just thinks that he's doing all this to try to get with his mom, saying that no one can tell him what to do.
I'm just saying no one's gonna tell me what to do.
Oh, please. You think you're so cool being Mr. Rebel? Mr. I don't care what people think about me, and it's so obvious that you do care. You don't believe that anyone can really care about you because you don't care about yourself. If you did, you'd stop smoking and doing all the other things that are messing up your life.
Thank you for that public service announcement, Miss Spitz.
Taking this back to when Griffin told Sharon that everyone already thinks that he's stupid, this is what he thinks of himself, and just proves that he's acting out. Where Sharon doesn't want to disappoint her parents, Griffin already feels like he's a disappointment. So this whole rebellious act is actually a facade. So Griffin went from being someone that she aspired to be to someone that she actually feels sorry for.
I didn't know what Griffin was gonna do with his life, but I knew one thing about mine. Even if my parents still drove me crazy, my life was working pretty great, just the way it was.
And that's the funny thing sometimes with thinking that you want to be like someone and start to realize that you were raised a little bit different and start to come to an appreciation for your upbringing and how you turned out. I think the lesson that Sharon learned in this episode is that she wanted to have excitement in her life, but people caring about you and your well-being goes a long way, especially in influencing the decisions that you make. Because I'm sure that a lot of us have been in some predicaments and the first thing they think of is, I love my family and I have people that love me, please get me out this situation so I can go home. And you realize a lot of the time when someone is rebellious and fun and carefree, they don't have that in their life, and there's usually a reason for their behavior. In random, I recently watched Last Holiday for the first time, so me making that point just made me think of that movie. Anyway, in the end, Sharon calls Maria to apologize for how she was acting, saying that being boring is actually okay.
But I just wanted to say you are totally not boring, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thanks. Bye.
Sharon herself, like Griffin, has absentee parent issues, where they do things sometimes to seek approval from the parent that is absent without even realizing it. And they're both doing this in their own ways. As much as Sharon does have a mind of her own with a lot of her own personal beliefs, she unfortunately gets caught up doing a lot of things that she's not supposed to, like smoking and drinking in the name of male approval. But what did you guys think of these episodes? I know I usually say how Braceface covers topics and it's not handled well, but this isn't one of those videos. I did just kind of want to talk about Sharon's overall character and how that plays out in the show. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you would like to keep up with me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram. Again, all that information is in the description box down below. And if you made it to the end, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you would like to stick around, and make sure you hit the notification bell to stay up to date with posts and uploads from me. But for now, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.